association with an associate of Krishna, who is a Bhagavat, that cannot be compared to anything else. Cannot be compared to attaining liberation, going to heaven, or martyanam kimutasisa. Those things which are meant for people who are going to die. Any kind of material benediction, which is for those who are martyanam kimutasisa. Okay, so we have like 4 or 5 minutes left, so we'll tell a short story that ties into this like a bow on the whole package. Martyanam kimutasisa. What are those things which are meant for people who are going to die? And what is anartha? So we're going to tell a story that ties into anartha and martyanam kimutasisa and all of this stuff. Okay, so once there was a sadhu, which is also sadhu tattva. Okay, there was a sadhu who was traveling, short story, and he was going like this, Mahadvichalanam, traveling to help people, to give them the Shreya. So he came to a kingdom and he went to the king's palace and he asked the king's attendant or like the messenger or the minister to have audience with the king. And the messenger went and gave the proposition and came back and said the king has no time. He said, the king has no time? What do you mean the king has no time? So again he went and he asked again a day later. The king said, I have no time, I'm very busy. So he said, what does he want? He said, give him some wealth, give him whatever he wants. He said, no, I only want to speak with the king for a few minutes. He said, I have no time to speak with you, I'm very busy, my kingly duties. So again he went. Then he said, okay, give him 1,000 gold coins, just get rid of him. But he said, I won't take any money. So after he came for like 1-2 weeks, then finally he said, okay, let me talk to the queen. So the queen was a little more soft-hearted. She said, okay, I'll speak with him. So then he sat down with the queen. I told her, I have some very bad news for you, but also some good news. What do you want to hear first? She said, okay, tell me the bad news. Give me the bad news first, then the good news. So the bad news is your husband, the king, is going to die very soon. Very soon he's going to die. Okay? And she was very sad. Oh no, what's the good news? He said, the good news is I have something important to tell him. And if he listens to me, it's a way that he can be very happy after his death. So she said, okay, let me go talk to him. So he went and talked to the king. And the king, hearing, oh no, I'm going to die, then he became eager to hear from the sadhu. Before that, okay, let's enjoy in this world. But martyanam kimutasisa, material benedictions are for those who are meant to die. So therefore, he went to the king and they sat down together. So the king said, okay, now tell me. He said, look, I've done your astrology. I understand your future. And you only have like a few days or maybe a week or 2 left to live. The king was very sad. He said, okay, so what should I do? Tell me the good news. So he said, okay, you've done a lot of punya in your life, a lot of pious activities. So after you die, you're going to go to heaven. That's the good news. You're going to go to heaven. And the king was like, okay, he was a bit relieved. But he said, but however, you've also done some sinful activities in this life, pop. So in heaven, you've taken tax from many people. The king is always taking taxes. And if he's not spending the taxes properly, then this is disturbing others. So he said, you've done this to many people. So in heaven, as your karma for taking all this tax without properly spending everything, then many mosquitoes will come and bite you. He said, there's not so many mosquitoes in heaven, but for you, a few have been brought. A few are present there for you. So when you're in heaven, some mosquitoes will bite you. They said, don't worry, there's not so many, and we've made a mosquito net for you. They're making a mosquito net in heaven for you. But they don't have good practice making mosquito nets because they don't really need them. There's no mosquitoes in heaven, but for you, there's some mosquitoes. So therefore, they made a mosquito net, but they're not so expert there. So they kept one big hole by accident. There's a big enough hole for some mosquitoes to come through. And when you're going to rest at night with your mosquito net, mosquitoes will find that hole and they'll come through and bite you. So I only came to tell you this point, that when you leave this body, you should take with you a needle and some thread. Because they ran out in heaven. They're not good at this. They don't have practice. Nah? So you should take this needle and thread with you. And when the mosquitoes disturb you, then you can sew this up. And then you'll be okay. So the king is sitting there like he was taking notes the whole time, Okay. He was taking notes. And then we came to this point. He said, needle and thread. Then he was like silent. And then the sadhu finished speaking. He said, okay, you understand? And the king was like, yes. But then the king said, but. How will I take a needle and a thread?